The Electoral Commission EC has laid before Parliament a constitutional instrument for the establishment of the Gwan constituency. The Representation of the People Parliamentary Constituencies Amendment Instrument 2023 seeks to capture the Sancho Kofi, Akpafu, Lekpe and Lolobi South traditional areas that were unable to vote for the parliamentary candidates in the 2020 election.
Instrument Representation of the People Parliamentary Constituencies Amendment Instrument 2023 was laid before the House by the Majority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu.
The agenda for today has been amended by bringing forward the representation of the People Parliamentary Constituencies Amendment Instrument 2023. It's been lifted from tomorrow, Wednesday, to today. So that amends the program for today. The Speaker, having said that, I beg to submit. But thank you very much.
This amendment is to establish the new constituency in addition to the existing 175 constituencies. A bill to create additional constituencies for the 2024 general election is expected to be tabled before the House for consideration after extensive stakeholder considerations. Commissioner for Corporate Affairs of the Electoral Commission, Bosman Asare, justified the creation of the Gwan district. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has referred the CI to the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of the House for consideration and report.
Representation of the People Parliamentary Constituencies Amendment Instrument 2023.
Honourable members, the Representation of the People Parliamentary Constituencies Amendment Instrument 2023 is referred to the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation for consideration and report to the House. This is the instrument that is likely to save this House and forgive us for the cardinal sin that we are said to have committed. It deals with the issue of the SAP, and a number of them have now come up for consideration by the House.
Meanwhile, the minority has served notice it will resist any attempt to create new constituencies.
Do you remember when I said the president was pushing the Electoral Commission to create 25 new constituencies? And they came to say that it was not true. What has happened? So I'm hearing it for the first time after they've debunked it that they were not going to create.
Will the minority resist this?
But now you are telling me of when we get to the bridge, we will cross it. Because I know if the government really has control of the economy, he will not be thinking of creating constituencies at this time. Civil society will come and beat all of us here. The market women whose money you have taken without giving you 10, they will come and beat all of us here. So do you want to collapse the entire democracy in this country?
This is your Election Command Center. The Vice President and New Patriotic Party flag bearer hopeful, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has dismissed assertions that the NPP is an account party, insisting that he is the only candidate the NDC fears for the 2024 general elections. He made the announcement during a speech to over 5,000 Upper East Region Party delegates in Bolgatanga as part of his nationwide campaign tour. A report by Tanko Mohammed Rabiu.
A lot of people started saying that the NPP is an account party because we've never had an account leader. If you look at our history, we have never voted on tribal basis. So on November 4th, when you elect Dr. Bawumia, it is going to be a big thing for the NPP. We will answer that question and make sure everybody knows that we are a national party. The NDC never thought that NPP will elect Dr. Bawumia. This is why John Mahama came here, I think in Upper East, to say NPP will never elect Dr. Bawumia. He thought it wouldn't happen, but it is going to happen live on Saturday. We in the NPP are going to try to do in 2024 what has never been done before in Ghana. No party in the Fourth Republic has yet been able to break the 8. Many people say it is not possible. But I say, by the grace of God, inshallah, it is possible.
Dr. Bawumia is meanwhile gaining some significant support from delegates in his hometown of Wale in the Northeast region. The delegates say a vote for Dr. Bawumia is a push to secure development in the area.
This region was founded by the vice president, and he who wife gives birth, that's the adult. If your wife gives birth to a baby boy, nobody will come and do the adult. If you give birth to something, go and do the adult. He has created the region, so he must benefit from us by the delegates in the Northeast region giving him 100% support.
Bawumia is going to get 100% as we gave him in the super delegates contest.
This policy of delegates caucus season is not in the northern sector. We are looking for somebody who will develop north. You know, we are far behind, and we need somebody who will develop the north, not somebody who will give you money to go and spend. But we are going to vote for somebody who will really develop north, so that the gap between northern and southern will close. These are the reasons why we are going to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Trust us here on TV3 to bring you a comprehensive coverage of the flag bearership race on Saturday, November 4. Away from politics, the Minister of Energy, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, says his ministry takes responsibility for the spillage of the Akosombo Dam by the Volta River Authority, making a statement on the floor of Parliament over the situation which has caused widespread devastation in parts of the Volta region. The minister described it as a national disaster that requires answers.
Mr. Speaker, surely, this House deserves accountability. And at what time? People of Ghana are affected as we speak. And governments and people should rally support to show that we are each our brother's keeper. Even though VRA is under the Ministry of Energy, we take responsibility. That is a national disaster, it's an emergency. It's not only affecting people south there, down. It's affecting people north the dam, from both dams of the Buipa and on the White Water. We need a comprehensive statement and understanding of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I would have begged for even a longer time. But since this House needs to also be informed of what is going on in government activity, I am not the lead government agency. There's an interministerial advisory team headed by somebody, but we will take responsibility and come and tell you what VRA did and VRA hasn't done.
Meanwhile, the majority and minority sides of Parliament have served notice to hold management of the Volta River Authority before the House to explain circumstances leading to the spillage of the Akosombo Dam and subsequent flooding of the lower Volta Basin. Here's Majority Leader Osei Mensa Bonsu addressing the media.
I believe we may need to find some answers to some questions. And I guess the Speaker is not yet here. But when the Speaker comes, we'll have some discussions with him. And I believe it is important for us to invite VRA to come and fully brief the House about what has happened, the repercussions, and how to avoid any future such events. Of course, you're looking at the integrity of the dam itself. Fancy the situation, this was not done. And the dam itself got breached. You know, the impounded water, its effect stretches to as far as Yeji and beyond. And if all the impounded water is flowing out within, say, 1 week, can you fathom the devastation that it will cause the nation? Maybe about a quarter of this country will be gone. But we hope to God that it doesn't happen. However, what has happened has affected some people. How do we help to assist them and also to arrest any future such events. Which is why I'm saying that it will become important for us. It will become important for us to invite the DRA to have some discussions with them on that.
Parliament, let's turn attention to the northern part of the country. The youth of Garu and Timpani have demanded an unconditional release of some 8 individuals picked up by the military during Sunday raid on Garu and Timpani. At a joint media briefing in Garu, the youth say the continuous detention of the allegedly brutalized individuals is abuse of their rights.
55 persons are still on admission following the dawn raid by the military on Garu and Timpani, in which over 220 people were severely brutalized. One of the victims with broken limbs and 3 others who were vomiting blood have been referred to the Bolgatanga Regional Hospital. The youth say they will hit the street if the 8 individuals arrested by the military are not released before Wednesday, November 1. Additionally, the youth is demanding that the government bear full responsibility for the cost of treatment of all the victims.
We demand that all the injured and traumatized citizens of Garu and Timpani be adequately compensated for the abuse of power and violation of their fundamental human rights. This atrocious act constitutes an abuse of power and a violation of the fundamental human rights of the citizens of Garu and Timpani.
They are again demanding that government and the National Security Ministry halt the misinformation regarding the incident and render an unqualified apology to the people.
We demand an unqualified apology from the Minister of National Security and Ghana Armed Forces Command for such unprofessional conduct and violation of the dignity of the people of Garu and Timpani.
The group wants a full-scale investigation into circumstances that led to the barbaric and unprofessional conduct of the military on the 2 communities.
It is a shame to the Ghana Armed Forces. It is a shame to the government of Ghana. If it is really true that those boys they have arrested and airlifted them to Accra are really militants, as the whole country is speculating, the cause of our land will speak for us.
Back to the capital, Accra, the German government has pledged to support Ghana in promoting reforms to include Africa on the UN Security Council to help tackle terrorism and coups in Africa and globally. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz was speaking during a visit to the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center at Teshi in Accra.
Since 1946, the United Nations Security Council has had 15 members, with 5 being permanent members with veto power, including China, France, Britain, Russia and the United States, and 10 non-permanent members, including Ghana. In 2005, the African Union adopted the Ezulwini Consensus to push for reform on the Security Council, granting African countries 2 permanent memberships. However, the call was renewed in July 2023, and the United Nations Security Council has now established a committee to initiate the review process. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz reiterated Germany's commitment to ensure Africa's proper representation on the Council.
I can only encourage you, Mr. President, and the African Group as a whole to take the lead on this. Africa's weight and influence can make the crucial difference in New York. African states constitute more than a quarter of the members of the UN General Assembly. You have the leverage, and we will be by your side.
President Akufo-Addo lauded the German Chancellor's assurance and emphasized Ghana government's role in providing infrastructure for improved security.
Through the Ministry of Finance, my government has supported the Center to complete its training and academic block, which is guaranteeing additional training opportunities for interested participants and is assuring the rollout of additional academic programs to meet the expected demand.
Before I take leave of you, on the international front, the Church of Pentecost has declared a 3-day fast to seek divine guidance for the safe release of its national deacon who was kidnapped in South Africa. A church service taking place at its Johannesburg branch was disrupted when armed men raided the premises, stealing valuables or capturing the religious leader. The church, in a statement, has described the incident as unfortunate. It has assured it will be collaborating with the police to find its national deacon. You can find this and more stories if you log on to 3news.com. My name is Godwin Asidiba, and don't forget to stay interactive with us on all social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. New Day continues shortly. Please don't go anywhere.